This video is brought to you by the FMP Shop, where you can find some of the best Scale 400 models. Find the link in the video description below. Now, something Scale 500 collectors can only look envious at is a 777 DHL freighter. And at first glimpse the model does look quite nice, but can it also hold up on a second look? Well, thanks to the great prices of the FMP Shop, we will find out right after the drop. And with that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at a Boeing 777-200LRF of DHL/Singapore Airlines. And at the front of the box we have a lovely rendition of the aircraft itself. We have the Boeing and the DHL branding, and it only gets better on the backside of the box. God, I really love this design. And here we find the Singapore Airlines and once more the DHL branding. We do also have these two renditions or schematics of the aircraft, and we get the specifications about the aircraft. What a superb box from JC Wings. And here she is, the Boeing 777-200LRF in the, well, hybrid livery of Singapore Airlines and DHL. The aircraft is operated for DHL but by Singapore Airlines. Now, it is important to note that this Scale 400 JC Wings aircraft model actually exists in two variants. This is the standard version, but it does also exist as a flaps down version. So great to see that collectors do have some options when looking at this aircraft model. But we focus here, as I said, on the standard version, and that means we will take a look at the tail section, where we on the vertical stabilizer have the DHL branding. The horizontal stabilizers then also offers some nice detailing here on the top side, but also when we look at the side we can see some lovely markings, like for example the markings for the angle of attack. And since we are looking at the fuselage, we can then also see here at the rear that we have the full registration code of the aircraft and the aircraft type specification. And towards the very tail of the aircraft then also have a lovely bit of detailing here, some combination of print and physical detailing with the APU exhaust. At the front of the aircraft and across the fuselage we then have the Singapore Airlines branding, and above that it specifies operated by. We then also have a boatload of details across the fuselage here, with small hatches, sensors, static ports, petro tubes. Well, basically everything you would see on a real aircraft, we've got it here covered in the print. A combination of printed and physical details we can then also find on top of the fuselage, where we for example find a lovely set dome. But as mentioned, we do also have printed details as well as these lovely physical antennas, and the finish of those is really excellent as well. And towards the front of the aircraft, just above the cockpit section, we then find even more printed details, quite lovely. And that of course leads us to the cockpit section itself. And here, apart from the petro tubes that I already mentioned before, we of course have the cockpit windows with the window wipers, and also a very lovely detailed nose cone. And I would also like to add that I think the overall shape of the mold, especially here around the cockpit section from JC Wings and Scale 400, looks pretty good. But from the cockpit section we move on to the engine nacelles, which have been kept in this grey coloring. We do have the silver leading edge printed on, as well as a load of small hatches and safety relevant markings, so the printed detailing here is actually quite good. What is also quite good is the physical detailing of these engines, very lovely here from the back, but also when we look into the engines from the front, where we very nicely can see the engine fan blades. And that leads us straight to the wings, which we should also take a closer look at, starting off with the top side. And here we find the different flaps, slats and spoilers carved out very nicely, and we have the markings as to where to walk on the wing. The underside of the wing then offers us more nice physical detailing, especially here with the pylons, where we also have these lovely little red tips printed on. And then of course we also have the full registration code printed on once again. My highlight, however, is the addition of the landing lights. Now, before we take a look at the remaining details, there is a quick message from our sponsor today. Hi, are you looking for new Scale 400 models? Then look no further. The FMP Shop has got you covered with some of the best brands in the business. NG models, JC Wings, and of course, Gemini jets are within their portfolio. So check out their website and find your next favorite model. And by the way, they do of course also have Scale 500 and 200. So check out their website. The link to that is in the video description below. The landing gear on this aircraft model is made entirely out of metal, except of course for the wheels themselves. And while it does look great, the overall finish could have been a little bit better. We see it on the wheel caps, but also here and there places being a little bit bent. The wheels do also roll, which I personally am not a huge fan of. What I am a fan of, however, is the fact that we also find some printed details on this landing gear. And since we are looking at the belly of the aircraft, we can also notice a whole range of printed details, which is quite nice. Not so nice in my opinion is the fact that we do have a hole in the fuselage for a stand, which is not included with this aircraft model, but it doesn't destroy any printed details, so I guess that's all right. What I really love here is, however, the fact that we can also find some physical antennas, as well as the combination of physical and printed detailing with the ram air intakes. And then last but not least, we do of course also have the doors to the cargo compartments printed on here at the back of the aircraft, here at the front of the aircraft, and of course also the main cargo hatch, again at the back of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Boeing 777-200LRF in the hybrid Singapore Airlines DHL livery from JC Wings in scale 1 to 400. And what can we say about this aircraft model? JC Wings has done a pretty decent job with this aircraft model. The overall finish is rather nice. I really like the mold of the 777 from JC Wings. The printed detailing is also great, and especially considering that this is a freighter, where freighters traditionally maybe don't have the most elaborate liveries, so focusing a lot on all these details that are aircraft type specific really elevates the model. I think the only place where I have a few drawbacks on this aircraft model is actually with the landing gear. Not that it is bad, but the overall finish could have just been a little bit sharper, a little bit more pronounced in some of the details, but again overall it does look pretty good. So yeah, quite the solid scale 400 model from JC Wings in my opinion, and worth having in one's collection. Now with that we have reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like, and of course if you are new around here, you are always welcome to hit subscribe. With that, thank you very much for watching, hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.